So hello guys, and in this video I'll be making a retirement brochure cover for my father. And many people don't know that I use CorelDRAW as well. Yeah, I do use CorelDRAW, and here's me working on the background. I tried to create something that has depth, so I took that image with the walls going deep down to that particular passage, and then I brought this we like call that tiger like patterns to make the floor have a that sort of pattern. Well, I adjusted the transparency so that it flows seamlessly, and that is me trying to create it. Then I've turned it upside down, and then the next if you see, I usually switch between windows, so I have the Photoshop flyer design already. I didn't want to create anything too far from it, so this background was also in the Photoshop flyer design, as you can see over there. And I also blurred that particular background a little, not as much as the Photoshop. Then here is me trying to put the text. Started writing the text. I was a bit confused on whether to make it all caps or small letters, but I finally decided that I will leave it that way and let the font which I will use do the work. So I'm here indecisive of the font I would choose, and I finally settled for this font, but that won't be for long because I later changed it. However, it's still the font. Then I started arranging them in where they should be and making sure that the texts are well tracked and kenned. Is it? Yeah, tracking and kenning. And I'll put the description of tracking and kenning by the side over there. Then I put the title I wanted, Happy Retirement Daddy. This is my father is a man of God, a pastor, and he has worked in Assemblies of God Church for over not over 70, oh Jesus, over 40 years now, I think. And he'll be retiring this year. He's 70 years of age this year. So we are planning the retirement. Probably by the time you are seeing this video, the retirement is still on the plan. And if you happen to see this video and you are around, you are invited. Yeah, you are invited. I would love to see you. But if by the time you are seeing this video the date had already passed, then you probably missed on the delicacies that we enjoyed on that day. So here I'm trying to separate the daddy from the retirement so that they have a distinct feature. Then I didn't bother creating a new date and time tabs. I just selected the one I used for the flyer in Photoshop, exported it as PNG, gave it a name, put it in my assets folder, and just found it and placed it there as an image. So that was what I did here, and that was me struggling on where exactly to place it. But as you can see at the end of this video, I finally made up my mind on where to place it. The next thing was to write his name and give it the position where it to be. So I wrote it and kept it over there. Now the next was, I took these colors because I'll probably be needing them, so I took them as a color scheme and placed it in CorelDRAW. Next was the address. So here is the address. You already have the date, you already have the time, and now is the address. If you happen to watch this video before November 23rd, 10 a.m., you can actually start coming now, or plan to come. But if you missed it, then maybe I will show you a video of us enjoying ourselves. But this channel is not about that. You might see that video on my TikTok channel, U-Graffix. Yeah, the same U-Graffix on my TikTok, where I discuss most of those discussions that you see me post on here. I have plenty, many more of such videos on my TikTok. So if you're not following me on TikTok and you would love to follow me on TikTok and you're on TikTok, I would love to see you there as well. Now, as you can already imagine, design is not a one-off thing. You don't just start and go straight to your destination. you go through many back and forth, left and right. So that is what I'm doing here, and I'm trying to create a floor tile with the name, but for some reason I didn't know why I slanted it, so I undid and started again and started placing it. And for some reason again I couldn't get the base because I didn't put a ruler to give me a mark, so I undid yet again and then placed a ruler to give me a mark of where to keep the base. And then I started stretching and adding the perspective to it, and this was how it came out. So making sure everything is all in line. Now this is how it came out, and I power clipped it into the main page. Next step was to select the pictures. This is me and my siblings, and yeah, so I will take this picture. Is already cropped, so just save it as a PNG because Photoshop has that feature while CorelDRAW will not allow me to just drag and drop it without giving it its own white background. So that was what I did, saving it as a PNG. And if you are hearing noises, probably it's my fan in the background, but I hope it's not loud enough to cause distraction. Now I thought that this would be my main image for this design because that was the main image in the flyer, but as you saw in the cover, it wasn't. But what happened with this image, I decided to add another extra image to it, make it 2 images. Why not? So I took this one, separated it from the background, made sure that the edges are well separated. That's what I'm doing here with my quick selection tool and my marquee selection tool. So I use the quick selection here, and I'm using the lasso tool, sorry, not the marquee tool. So I'm using the lasso tool to make fine selections. Yeah, here the lasso tool comes. Make fine selections and do the same for the other side of the picture. And when I'm making fine selections, I make fine selections. Everything is considered. Everything, nothing is left out, which is as it should be. Man, narrating this video after making the video is not something easy, but so far I've not made any mistake. I have not done a second recording. This is the first take, this is the single take, and this is how it will go till the end. So I placed the images, and this is me working on the opacity and transparency. Yeah, Photoshop will call it opacity, but in CorelDRAW it's called transparency. So if you increase the opacity, it is more visible. If you increase the transparency, it is more hidden. I'm using this option of transparency. Then I got a brilliant idea in my brain to move the name around, but at the end of the day I felt it was still lacking something, so I added a background behind the name, and this is me trying to make sure it is in front, but for some reason I keep on selecting something else. So finally I figured out how I must do it, and at the end of the day I said, okay, you know what, that thing I did, I don't need it. I will take it back to where it was before. And that is the beauty of design. You just keep on going back and forth till you are done. And this is the final part of making the final adjustments, and this is the final part of this design. So part 2 is loading. There will be some video while you're waiting for the part 2 loading. The next video comes up now. Bye.